Good afternoon, it's Lee Cassidy from Tactile Technology, and it's our regular slot where we have someone in the hot seat. Today we've got Muktadir Choudhury, who's going to talk about his journey through to his current role running a web development and also a business providing pay-per-click and Google AdWords type services for organizations. We've also got a new series starting next week, which is talking about SME security, so cybersecurity and actually delivering it in plain English. So that starts on Monday. So the first one will be at 12:30 for 15 minutes on Monday, and we're working our way through the week and continually on while we've got content to talk about. So as we go through describing each different piece and explaining how it affects you. So the first one Monday is talking about NIST, which is the National Institute for Science and Technology's framework for cybersecurity from the US, which has been adopted worldwide. And we're going to talk through that framework and explain what it means to you and how you can actually adopt it to make your business more secure. But we'll get our visitor on, shall we? How are you doing, Muktadir?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you, Lee?
I'm not doing too bad. So we've had a brief chat in the past, but I think a lot of people need to know a bit more about you. So let's start right at the beginning then. So where were you born? Where did you grow up? Tell us a bit about your life and also your parents, what they did for a living, and also your early days in education.
Yeah, sure. I was actually born in Bangladesh, but I came when I was a little baby to UK, and my parents originally migrated from Bangladesh. So when I came to UK, I was really, little like a toddler when I came to UK, and obviously I went to primary school and the secondary school, did my GCSE, went to college, did my A levels at college, and then.
So where did you come to? Was that in the Midlands or was it another part of the UK?
We came originally from Midlands, near Aston Perry Bar. That's where
Yeah.
Yes, within the Birmingham. So that's where I kind of
So
grown up.
which school did you go to then? Like senior school over there?
Yeah, I went to Broadway School in Perry Bar.
Yeah, and you stay there all the way through, or did you have to change like the sixth form or anything?
No, I did my all the way through from year 11 till year 11 till until year 16. Then now I did my GCSE. Went to college after that. Went to Sutton Coldfield College. So
What did you study there?
I did maths, physics, and computing.
Oh, so you had a very computer focused start to things anyway then. Yeah, and then what did you do after you'd finished there?
Once I finished there, I went to university. Obviously I've got my A-level results. Then I wanted to either go, initially I wanted to do physics related. I really enjoyed that. But physics involved lots of maths, as you know, calculus and whatnot. So yeah, then I thought, computer at the time, it was early 90s coming to the millennium, like 2000, and the computer was a focal point to the millennium bug and that, and at the time it was a hot topics, and my family members and said do whatever you want to do. So I thought, computers is the future, so might as well just do something computer related. So I did went to university after my A levels, and I did computer science at university.
Okay, so that's a good starting point, isn't it? To build up to a degree in computing. So you got your degree in computing. Where do you go next?
So after I finished my degree in computing, I didn't really know what to do at the time, to be honest, because I did my degree and then when I did a uni computing, it was all programming, and I did enjoy it for first like a semester and whatnot, but I didn't really I wasn't passionate about it, so I didn't know what to do. So after I finished my degree, I actually thought I might as well go into teaching, because I did enjoy. I always that's another thing, I like to help out other people. Even when I was in college, I thought teaching might be a route to do it, but you have to do your PGCE. So I never had that. So I think before I commit myself into doing PGCE and become a teacher, might as well just test it out if it's right for me. So I did a teaching support at one of the college for 1 year. It was a paid position as well. So I thought, I'm going to get paid.
So what did you find with that then? Was it something you enjoyed doing, or was it that killed the idea and you decided you were going to move on somewhere else?
Yeah, it just killed the idea then. I couldn't deal with I couldn't deal with the special college, kids and seeing what the stress the teachers had to go through. I thought, no, I can't deal with that. So I thought I need a change of plan. So I thought, wait, I did my degree in computer science. So why don't I just stick to it? So obviously, when you graduate, you have to work your way through at the bottom. So I started working for companies, started as a tester, testing software, and then worked my way up to different positions, help desk, networking, and then eventually I was worked for a company and I became an IT manager. So
So that's quite a lot of things. Let's start at the beginning then. So you were doing software testing though. So what was part of that job then, doing software testing?
so part of that job was to basically find a bug within the system. So you was a yeah, you was basically those BT hub testing. So you go the new software releases, and at the time it was Windows 7 and Windows XP. I don't know if you remember those days. And
Yeah,
you have to.
I remember the days before Windows. So.
So we have to deploy those software within those operating system, client operating system, and make sure that it works with the different, is compatible with all of these
Yeah,
operating
you've
systems.
never lived unless you've used Windows 2 and Spyglass Mosaic web browser in 16 colors, because a
Oh,
picture in 16 colors does not look like a picture. So it's quite different. So different world, really. So yeah, so you're doing software testing to give you a good understanding of how you can actually do the quality assurance process and things with software. So what job was after that? Did you say was that help desk after that?
yeah, so actually after that went after that one after that was a 1 year contract, and then I didn't really enjoy this testing because it's tedious. Is the same thing repeat over. Once you've done few, it's just like following the same procedure. So
Yeah,
I went after the worked for a local PC repair shop where I was repairing laptops and desktop, change of the screen and a
yeah.
bit
So
of
that was more hardware related rather than software.
yeah,
Yeah.
hardware related. So and finding bugs and that, and from there apply. Again, that was okay, but it wasn't something like I wanted something corporate type kind of thing. So also was there, I applied for an insurance company. They were looking for an IT networking person. So and I applied and I've got the position and I started there. And the person that I was replacing, I was the only IT person, and at the time, they had
Yeah.
Exchange 2000 with Microsoft Office and Exchange, and I had no idea what Exchange was, and
Yeah.
Active Directory,
Yeah.
none of those. I didn't.
So,
I was
yeah,
like,
it's quite different to how things are done these days, because we used to have to run our own, mailboxes effectively using Exchange. We had to set up all the records. We had to manage it all. We had to manage the database that did the authentication, and also, the repository for all those emails as well. So it was all done locally, wasn't it, on local servers at that time?
exactly. There was
Yeah.
no such thing as cloud then. And
No, that's it. No, it's. I think it's changed completely how we do things. The adoption of cloud-based services. So you had to learn all about Exchange, how to manage Exchange, how to create and manage users within that environment.
Ex-
What about on the network side? What other things do you need to do there?
So I had to learn about routing, switches, subnetting, all those components as part of
Yeah,
daily networking, the core components of network. I had to learn all that. On top of that, to learn about Active Directory, Microsoft servers, Server 2003, Active Directory, then 2008. So there was a lot of learning curve, and at the time, now this is so easy. You had a YouTube, and you could go in there, you could learn about different things. You could those time not many there weren't many YouTube videos, and
no.
either you had to Google you or you had to learn from the book kind of thing, and it was a bit of an eye opener, and
Yeah,
like
I had a bookshelf full of different Linux books and things and Unix books, because in my day Windows wasn't around to start with, so it was all Unix based servers or mini or mainframe systems. So you always had a book and you had lots of little tabs. You remember the little sticky tabs you could buy, and it had little things on there, so you could grab the book and you could look down and oh yeah, how do I do this? And you could jump straight to a particular area, reconfiguring a user within a VTAM session for a mainframe. So you had all those like marked out in the books, and you'd have to grab the right book in the right section. But the internet's changed all that. A lot of people, it's the first place to go to, isn't it? The knowledge bases, the Google itself asking, even copying the actual error message and put it into Google search and then seeing what comes back is a good starting point sometimes to get you to where you need to be.
Yeah, exactly. And you was a kind of steep learning curve, and I had to learn about switches, routers, and IPsec, and all the security stuff as well. It's not just making sure that make sure everything is secure at the same time as well with authentication and everything. So I stayed there for
just for the non-technical people watching. IPsec is a way of encrypting data for a virtual private network, so you can send things between two places over a public network without the data being compromised in any way. I've got to make sure I do all my clear speak in English for security, because that's the plan for next week. It's all about telling people in English what security is about.
Of course, yeah, definitely, yeah. So sorry, I'm talking to another technical person.
No, and it's easy because we live in a world where it's abbreviations and we understand what we're talking about. I think we sometimes forget though that there are other people that are like connected to us, the businesses we work with, and they don't understand, some of the language that we use, especially in technology. It's just beyond what they would normally experience, isn't it?
Exactly, of course, definitely.
So this job then, it was quite wide, then network, infrastructure, exchange and things. So how did that progress?
Yeah, I mean, I stayed a couple of years because I thought this could be a learning curve. The pressure was on me, but once you learn something like Active Directory, it's quite easy once you learn. You know what I mean? The technology doesn't change overnight unless you move into different database or the different directory system, but it's still the same. So I've learned all that. I stayed for a couple of years, make sure I knew how to use that. And then whilst I was doing that, I did get my Microsoft certification as well. I thought that would also help in the future.
So you did an MCP in something.
Yeah, CSCs and all those in Server 2003. So I've done all that. Then I thought, then it's time to do that. Then after a couple of years, once I've learned everything, all the technology they deployed within their organization, once I've learned everything, I thought, let's see, and the reason I left that position as well, the travel was getting to me. It was quite far. I was traveling it was taking me about 40 minutes to get there back, and at the end I was kind of really knackered when I used to come home from there. So after that, let's see if I could find something local. Then I did manage to find another job in Wolverhampton, and that was a bigger position, way bigger. And the company, they used to do telesales, and they used to have an office in Wolverhampton, central London, the Watford, in the US, everywhere. And I was the IT manager there, and I was looking after their IT system and everything as well. So it's still Active Directory, but they're upgraded to the modern network. But when I went there, they also had a in-house Exchange server and everything as well. So the SQL database. But luckily, I didn't have to touch the SQL database because there's DBA SQL database administrator was looking after that. I was looking after all the other stuff as well, the networking.
So we'll throw in a couple more abbreviations there then. So DBA is a database administrator, and SQL's is structured query language, which is a way that you'd normally interact with some kind of database, for the non-technical people. We seem to be having some issues with LinkedIn. I'm not sure if LinkedIn's got some problems at the moment. I've got a message popping up that LinkedIn's not working too well. So we're going out to YouTube anyway. So what we'll do is we'll post YouTube into LinkedIn afterwards. It's the first time I've seen that happen. So I think LinkedIn are having some issues, but there's been a few people having issues over the last couple of weeks. Spotify were down for about 5 hours I think it was earlier this week. So I think there's a few issues with some of the cloud services going on at the moment. So what happened next then? You learned a lot about Microsoft technologies. You're working, with Exchange networking. You built up some experience around SQL, but not having to be responsible for it. So where did you go from there?
Well, that company that I was working for, they were very dynamic, and the owner, he was very ambitious. So what I used to do is buy different businesses. So yeah, it's a telesales businesses, but that's the parents company, and they used to buy other small companies, and he was growing. And when you buy a company, and you have to make sure that that technology all seemingly works together. So it was a
Yeah,
bit of a pressure. I was to make sure everything is, and also the new employees from the new child company they used to buy, make sure they're all sits within the same directory and everything. So I was sorting all this out, and once I was doing that, because of our main focus in the company is telesales, telemarketing. So what
yeah,
they used to do is they used to have an office in India where, I'm talking about a couple of years back, where you probably used to get this call. Everybody did from India to say, what car do you drive with a BMW? Your lifestyle survey. Do you drive a car? Is it Mac, BMW, either Audi? So what car you drive? And they used to collect those data. Yeah. So say 10 million or 100 million data of people that drives certain cars, and then they used to put them into those SQL database, clear those data, make sure sequencing and everything, and then go into those companies, say BMW, and say, look, I've got you know uh, 5 million or 10 million people, potential leads that you could buy off us for say 5p or 4p or 3p. And you could do the maths kind of thing. Like if it's
yeah,
10 million, that's how they used to make their money basically. But at the time when I was doing that, then the Google AdWord at the time, it was now it's called Google PPC ads. At the time it was called Google AdWord, that came about. And so my manager asked me, yeah, look, we do telesales, lifestyle service. That's fantastic, but we need to transition all, digital now in terms of marketing, because that's our bread and butter kind of thing. So I said,
yeah,
okay, that's fine. What do you want me to do about it? He goes, well, we don't have a marketing expert, and we don't have anybody who knows about digital, and you're the IT guru. You should be able to know this. That's completely. They think if you're in technology, you know everything, but as you know,
yeah.
that's not the case.
Yeah, I think people group everything together, don't they, when they think
Yeah,
of technology? It's all the same thing, but there are very, very different areas and different expertises in them.
yeah. So what I said to you, I'm one of those guy. I can't say no to something. I said, like, if someone put a challenge for to me, I said, okay, I don't know how to do this, but I'm willing to learn if you put me in some sort of Google AdWords course. So they did. They put me into a course. I've learned about Google AdWords. They paid for the course, and the course was about 7 months, 6 months. Can't remember. I think it was a 6 months course. After the course is done, they said, okay, here's a 5K budget, play around to see what you could do, if you could get any results from there. So I did. Initially the first 4 months, it was trial and error, hit and miss, go a few campaigns. So some of the leads were quality leads, some of them wasn't. They said, okay, we got few attraction, few clients from it. So I tell you what, let's up the budget. Let's put to £10,000 per month. So they did that, but still, that's nothing for a company that's generating probably $1 billion in gross revenue. So that's like coffee money, to be honest, to be for them. So this here's a 10K. Play around with this, see what you could do. With the 10K, initially again, it was a momentum. It was a bit of a learning curve, and after they didn't increase any more budget, so we kept at 10K per month. We week 6 or 7, no, sorry, month 6 or 7, we started getting breaking even at that time. So we put 10K, and we are making from those leads that we're getting about 12, 15, 17K. So he said, wow, we're breaking even, let's put them in. So we increased to 20K. And once since it increased to 20K, that's when we start scaling up really big. And after a year and a half of 20, putting a 20K ad budget, we are hitting 6 figures. So 100 grand,
Yeah,
180
but
grand.
that's a lot of money for a lot of business, isn't it? Because that's you're looking, £250,000 ish. When you're putting that amount of money in each month,
Yeah,
it's quite a lot of money, isn't it?
yeah, it is, of course, definitely.
Mm.
That's almost about, you're looking at, I think, about 10x or 100. Is it 10x? If
So you've got 12 months at 20,000 a month. That's 260,000 pounds, isn't it? 240,000 pounds. Sorry. So it's quite a lot of money.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
what was the thought process then? So you were doing this and it was being successful. So what happened next?
what happened next was I was making the money and they were patting me at the back saying, 1 second. And they were like, well done, you guys making me money, making the business money, it's all good and everything. I was like, okay, but there was no commission for myself. I was thinking to myself, I'm making the company I'm working for tons of money, which is, and I've still got my IT at the side. I'm still doing that and also doing the marketing. So, but I wasn't getting no promotion. I wasn't getting no commission on the profit I was making. So I was thinking, if I could do this and I'm not being appreciated, why don't I just start something myself? I couldn't at the time just leave and just start like Google AdWare agency or something like the marketing agency. I wouldn't know what to do. I didn't know have idea how to go about it. So I thought I'm going to do some research, which I did, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to stay in this company. I'm not going to, go all in. What I'm going to do is start doing it part time. So that's what I did. Was I was working there full time. I used to come in the evening, start calling businesses and say, look, there's something called this Google PPC ads. I'm going to do that for you. If I get you results, you pay me. If I don't, you don't pay me. So we do situation. They can say no to that one. So I did that. I started, making them profit, and then it's all referral. They know other business owners, as business owners know other business owners, and it just domino effect after that, really, because yeah, it's like you're getting attraction and making money one after one, building a client base and everything. And there came to a point where I was making it same amount of money as I was making it on my job, if that makes sense. And that was just before COVID. I think it was a 3 or 4 months before COVID, and I made the decision like I want to take this all in. I want to go all in with this, and I've got some saving behind me. It should be okay. If it doesn't work out, hey, well, I still got my IT skill. I could always go back into IT. So I did that, and now it's coming to like 2 years. I've got 8 employees, and we're going strength to strength.
That sounds like you're doing very well with it then. So we've got Muktadir's website details. So if you're interested in looking at the actual business, it's Ignite Webs. So www.ignitewebs.com if you want to go and have a look at that. So is it purely pay-per-click and Google AdWords activity you do, or do you do other things as well?
Yeah, so at the moment we diversify. I don't believe in putting all your eggs in one basket, so we diversify. So once I was at the early stage of the company, we used to do Google PPC. Then we thought, wait there, for someone to first of all, your website has to be optimized in order to run an ad, because if I'm sending traffic to a website and the website is slow to load up, or if it doesn't work properly, it doesn't matter how much money you spend, people are still going to go off your website. The bounce back rate would be very high. So we thought, wait, that's another service we could include within our company, web development. So I knew somebody who did web development, so I asked him to, he said really help us out, and he knew somebody else, and then we started getting someone in a part-time basis, and that section of our business also grew, web development. Now that's our bread and butter kind of thing, the web development. So that grew. We recruited another person. So at the moment, 2 years on, we've got 4 web developers, and we're recruiting another person as well. Hopefully soon.
Okay.
So, web development.
Sounds like you're going from strength to strength then.
Yeah. So that's another service we do, and also because Google is a paid ad, a lot of businesses cannot afford to, especially now because the cost per clicks has increased. Early days it was cheaper, now it's very high.
Yeah.
As technology evolves and gets better and more competition, Google are willing to charge more for, and people are willing to pay more. They've got big corporation also using Google Ads now. So a lot of people can afford the cost of Google. So we also do SEO, which is ranking your website organically over time on Google, but that takes
So
time.
search engine optimization, so making sure your website looks right and the pages are delivered in such a way as you're going to be higher up the rankings, rather than
Yes,
on page 126 that
yeah,
no one's ever going to get to when they're looking for you. Because, I don't know about you, I might go through 3 or 4 pages looking for something that looks appropriate to what I'm interested in, but you don't go more than 3 or 4 pages, do you, into a
no,
search?
of course you don't.
Yeah, so you're never going to get to page 126 if that's where they are ranking at that point in time with the website.
Exactly. So,
Yeah,
so that's another service we do, and on top of that, we also do social media marketing because that was a natural thing. We're a marketing company and web development, and social media is a big part nowadays for every business, SMEs, and your corporate, your bigger enterprise businesses, even startups. So
yeah.
we're going to incorporate that. So we do paid ads in terms of Facebook ads and Instagram ads, and then now you got things like TikTok ads as well, kind of thing, new platform like that. So these are the other paid services that we do, kind of thing, within Ignite Webs.
So how many customers do you have at the moment?
We got what you mean, like monthly recurring customers or one-off customers, or
Yeah, just give us a picture of the number of customers you're normally dealing with on a regular basis.
on a regular basis. So at the moment on our hosting provider, we probably have about 150 to 200 customers.
Yeah, so it's a reasonable number then.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's keeping you busy.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So where's the business going from here then? So you started out focused on pay-per-click and Google AdWords, but then you've expanded on that into search engine optimization and optimization of websites, hosting, social media. What's the next step for you, do you believe?
When I started this business, I just want to go a bit back. I always had this idea. If I'm going to start business, it's going to be I want to scale and I want to scale quick. And my ultimate goal is for the business to be big enough. It's a big ambition, but I want to make it into a franchise where other people could buy our agency and start their own igniters within their own location, whether it's in UK or
So
abroad. Kind of.
you're looking to franchise what you do then?
Yes, yeah, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
long-term goal, but obviously we need to grow once, as they say, baby steps, so one step at a time to get there.
Yeah. Because
So
when you franchise, you've got to be able to show to the franchisee the opportunity that you've got. So
yes,
they've got to see that there's a potential to make some money out of it based on what you're selling them as a procedural way of setting the business up. And the name, the brand sometimes is what they really need. You look back to the old printing days when people like Call Quick and a number of others, print.com were about. It was all about the name, wasn't it? That people understood that name meant something and they could go and get something printed really well and also at a reasonable cost. So it's getting that Ignite Web's brand to a point where people see some real value in being a part of that brand, so that they'll actually pay in for that franchise capability. So we said we'd. Is there anything particular you want to tell anybody else before we come to an end of the interview side of things? Then, so you've given people a good picture of what you're doing today. You're looking at doing franchising. Anything else you want people to know about the business before we move on to our 2 questions that I mentioned before?
yeah. So there's one more service I didn't touch on, this, which we started recently. We also do hosting as well. So a lot of businesses already have existing website, but they host the website to, like, say, GoDaddy or like 123rate. The problem with that is they're hosting the website is helping US, so that breaks GDPR already. Yeah, as you know, GDP is a European and law kind of thing, and your data has to be held within the UK data center or European
Yeah.
data center. So that's another service we provide. We host your website as well. And in terms of my business, if you're a business owner, and what we're doing currently is free audit on the website as well. That's what I want to touch on. So if you want a free audits done, do contact us. I will. My details are on there. Or we also do audits on your social media marketing or on your SEO to see how your website is ranking, or is it optimized for Google in terms of like getting high ranking high organically on Google as well. So do contact us in regarding that as well.
So it gives people a good view of how they're performing at the moment with their website, with their social media activity, and then what you can do is show them how they could actually improve that by some of the changes that you're looking to introduce.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so I asked you before, we had 2 questions then. So first one is, what's the best meal you've had? Why was it the best meal? Where was it, and who was it with?
The best meal I had was it was a lobster. It was nice. Actually, 2. Can I say 2, or does it have to be
Yeah,
one?
say if you've got 2 meals that really come to mind, we can have 2.
Okay, there's the one at the seafood with the lobster, and they was really nice. And I can't remember where I had it, but it was one of the. I think it was in London. I can't remember exactly the name of the restaurant where I had it, but the lobster was delicious. I've never tasted a lobster that nice. Another one was a steak. I went to, it was a local steak place. They don't do that anymore, but I tried their steak, and it was amazing steak. It was done well done, but it was perfectly well done, if that makes sense.
Well, steak seems to be quite high up on the list of
Yeah.
things people have had that's been really good, and quite a few people we've spoken to recently have said steak of some kind, a variety of different places and a variety of different reasons as well. Yeah. So the second question is, what's the most adventurous thing other than starting up big night webs? What's the most exciting or adventurous thing you've ever done?
I think I've got lost in a forest once and finding the way around here. So I can't remember where that's going. I'm going back 15 years now, like 15, 20 years kind of thing. So I can't remember where it was, but it was a massive forest, and I've got lost. And I was with a few of my friends, a few of my mates, and I think what happened was we were mountain biking at the time, and them disappeared one way, and I disappeared another way, and I completely lost them. And he was like, when you're young, and forest seems like a massive place to you. Luckily, it was early during the day. I think it was 12 o'clock, and by the time I found them, it was about 6, 7 o'clock. But it was the summertime, so that was good. It wasn't getting dark. And
so
I was not.
At least you found your way back to them.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a bit of an adventure with a mountain bike going around, and it was scary, but it was adventurous for me. So
that's the first one that said any mountain biking. We've had walking, we've had a number of other things. That's first mountain biking one. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me they've been tombstoning, where they jump off a cliff into the sea. We've not had that yet, so I'm sure we're going to get that at some stage. But it's been great talking to you, Muktadir. It's great to get to know your business and help other people, learn about you. So if anybody wants to look, it's ignitewebs.com. We've also got Muktadir's LinkedIn page, so if you want to find him on LinkedIn, have a quick look there, Muktadir Choudhury, and grab that, and I'm sure you'll be quite happy for people to contact you. There's also the other side of social media. We've got some Instagram as well, so the Instagram on there as well. I'm sure there's a few great images and things, and also the Facebook profile, because it's all about social media these days, so we've got to have that on there. But it's been great having you on today. If you could stay on afterwards, what we'll do is have just a quick wash up with things, and then hopefully, this is going to generate you a little bit of business, and people come in your direction, especially if you want your expertise around, pay-per-click, Google optimization, also SEO type activity. So hopefully it's going to generate some work. But a couple of things, we've got sessions next week. We've got Janet Neuer on Tuesday, the 15th of March. We've also got a kickoff with our NIST framework for our SME SEC piece, which is going to be daily from Monday onwards until we run out of content. So NIST is the National Institute for Science and Technology in the US's framework for cybersecurity, and we're delivering cybersecurity in plain English. So we're going to explain what it all means, understand understand how it affects you and how you can make your business more secure, so you can sleep at night not thinking you're going to come in with some kind of ransomware banner on all your computers the next day. And the number of people I've spoken to recently that have had these issues quite recently is phenomenal. I didn't realize people being impacted as much as they are, but it really is happening, and people are paying very stupid money to get themselves out of the mess as well. But what we can do within this framework, go through the kind of things that you need to think about. We'll also talk about the National Cybersecurity Centre's 10 steps of how you can protect your business. And also then we'll move on to some of the other pieces like Cyber Essentials, Cyber Essentials Plus, ISME governance, and also some of the other physical security things you can do, and point you in the right direction with the things that might help you in your business. So thank you very much for joining us today. Hopefully see you again next week. So Monday, kicking off with SME Sec, and then Tuesday we've got In the Hot Seat as well as SME Sec. But if you want to join us and should give your journey, the email address there for myself and Rachel. So drop us a line, we'll get you a slot sorted out, and you can tell us all about your journey, your business, and the best meal you've ever had, and the most adventurous thing you've ever done as well. Thank you very much.